back again, another episode of It Factor. As always, I'm your host, Jeremy Robinson, and today we have someone special. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name is Andrew Taylor. So I'm here, trying to tell everybody a little bit more about, how it is being, black in IT. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, indeed, anytime. So with that, how are you doing, man? Mentally, physically, emotionally? How are you doing?
I think I'm doing pretty well, man. I don't really have any complaints. I try to make sure I keep a good balance. So, I mean, I think it's important to make sure that you work hard, but you also keep your mental state in a place where you're happy. If you're not happy, you can't do any work. If you can't do any work, you can't really succeed, man. So.
I like that. I like that. So with that, first off, let's talk about that blacks in tech. Because I'm a black engineer. You're a black engineer. How did your day-to-day job go as a tech
So, I mean, my day to day, I work for an insurance company. So some days I'm doing programming, some days I'm, configuring XML. It really just depends on what I'm needed for that day. Other days I'm doing configuration. I work with a third party system. So we configure the back end for the systems that the agents and the underwriters use to issue policies, fix policies. And some days, man, I'm just troubleshooting, fixing problems that show up. So,
engineer?
every day is kind of different, but it
Mhm.
has similarities at the same time, man.
That's cool. That's cool. It's kind of how my job is now. I work in ops now, and every time my boss asked me last week, he's like, "How did you know how to go and fix this, son?" So I was like, first off, I ain't got to talk to you all day no more. That's a second off, I seen it a few weeks ago, so it's something that I already probably done. But I feel like
Right,
tech, it's a lot of stuff that it's not as hard as I thought it would be when I
right.
first got into it. But I would say with that, man, how is it working in the tech field with you having so many years in it, building computers and everything out here? Tell me about that, man. What got you into tech?
Man, believe it or not, at first I wanted to be a doctor. So I was in college. Yeah, I was in college, man. I was doing biology, pre-med track, and as I kept going, I was like, man, I do not think I really want to do this. This
Uh,
is not what I'm passionate about. Yeah, the money would have been great, but I don't think that I actually wanted that responsibility of making sure I save people, make sure I do everything right, and making sure, I'm loving what I do.
mhm,
And the more I kept trying to push it, the more I kept feeling like this is not for me. So at the same time, I was like, man, what do I love to do? And I was like, I love computers. I had been building computers, troubleshooting computers since like my sophomore year of high school, man. They had like I remember like my sophomore year for the first time they had like a tech squad, man. We would go to different classrooms and fix on the little netbooks and all that stuff, and I was great at that.
mhm.
And so I built my first computer, I think, sophomore year as well. So after that, I was like, I like doing this. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me just to do that first. I think I wanted to do engineering, and I
Mhm.
went to Mercer University, and I didn't get the engineering scholarship, but they gave
Mhm.
me a liberal arts. So I was like, okay, I'll be a doctor. And I was like, this is not working out. So I went to information science and technology, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm good with my hands. I'll do some hardware stuff. And funnily enough, I was like, I don't really like the hardware stuff either. I want to build apps. I want to do stuff with the computer, not just, put the pieces together. I want to have a little understanding of everything. So that's kind of how I got started.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I feel like also with you not just being on with your hands, with you learning some stuff and knowing how to do apps and building computers and just the way that I would say me too being a computer scientist, that's amazing to hear from another black man. I feel like a lot of us kind of get away from it because you're like, dang, it's gonna be hard or
Yeah.
this ain't gonna be there. I gotta take all this bath. But like what would you say, what's some advice that you would give a person that's trying to come into the tech field?
I would say if you really like it, stick
Mhm.
with it. And it seems hard at first, but if you want to program, you have to think of it as a different language. Think of it like you speak in Spanish or you speak in French or whatever. You just telling the computer to do something in a way that the computer can understand. So if it seems hard at first, just think of it that way and just take it piece by piece. You say, hey, I want you to do this, and you find out how to get it to do that, and then you just build on that. So it's somebody once told me, how do you eat an elephant? It's one piece at a time. You can't do the whole elephant at once. You got to break it down to smaller pieces and start from a place where you understand. And I know it may look tall from the bottom when you're looking up, but once you start getting up to the levels, you're like, hey, it's not so bad. So I think you just have to stick with it and break it down piece by piece and understand you're just speaking a different language.
Indeed, I like that. I like that. That's kind of this way I learn, man. Take
Yeah.
so in there, I'll say, what is your it factor? Why you do what you do?
For me, man, I'm a nerd. I love technology. I've always been that way. A lot of people say you don't look like you should play football. I was like, nah, man, I play tennis and I work with computers. So they're like, whoa, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just cool, man. Like I got my desktop. I sent you a picture of my desktop.
Mhm.
I built that during COVID. I already had one. I was like, it's time to do another one. I want to put this thing on the wall. So I sat back and I did all the research. What parts do I want? How I put this thing on the wall? What can I get? And so for me, that's fun, man. It's like
Yeah,
adult Lego, bricks. It's fun to me to do that type of stuff. So I'm just passionate about that. So that's where my life took me.
that's dope, man. I'm about to get you to come to the house, do some stuff for me.
Oh yeah, I got you, man.
Cause that look dope, man. I seen the picture. I was like, man, I had to show my cousin here. I had to show her. I'm like, look at this, man. She like, you built a
Uh,
computer? I'm like, not in college, but I know somebody that do it now.
oh yeah, man. That work from home. I mean, it changed for
Yeah.
me. It changed everything. I love it. Some people are like,
I
hey,
love
we
it.
don't go to the office. Yeah, man, it's great. And it's been great for my mental health as well as my for my work life balance. So I got time to get up from the computer and do the things that I need to do and then come back and do the work. And I actually get more work done
Yeah,
being at home.
definitely.
I can go down, put a load of clothes on, come back and knock out something, and then it's great for me because I can do stuff and I'm not as stressed. I don't feel like I'm confined to a cubicle. I
Mhm.
love it.
Definitely. You're right about that because that work from home is the best. We just
It
now
is.
went back to the office for 2 days,
Oh
but I can deal with it. It's just 2 days. But
yeah,
it's Monday, Tuesday. Nobody like
right.
to work on Monday, so there's nobody done. Tuesday, that innovation center is full of people.
Oh
But like,
yeah.
one thing I'm noticing is, I told my boss, I'm like, bro, I've been doing this 3 years outside the office. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not nothing. The work that been getting is what you're gonna keep getting. It's nothing gonna.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I would say also, what has been one of your biggest achievements, then, man, thus far? You would say.
Um, I would say getting the job I currently have now. Before this job, I was just doing like computer repair and small things. Like I for the last business I worked for, I built all of their computers, but I wasn't really programming and I wasn't really doing anything, uh, front end wise. I was just mostly just hardware.
Mhm.
So I got lucky. And I got on. I told him, I was like, hey, I'm not as skilled at doing programming, at doing the things that you guys want me to do, but what I am good at is not giving up. I'm good at learning. I'm good at, making sure I do it right. And I'm good at, you know, determination, hard work, determination, tenacity. Those are the three things that I told them I was good at. And they said, okay, we'll give you a chance. And I've been here 5 years, man, and I love it.
Sure, that's awesome. That's awesome. I feel like that's to get you in the door, but also just seeing you've been there 5 years. That's an amazing thing because I feel like a lot of companies looking for you to have all this years of you supposed to know how to code, you supposed to know how to do
Oh
this.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Look, I ain't worked at your company before.
Right.
Your company do it different. No matter where you work at, you're gonna do
Every
it.
company is different.
Yes, indeed. So also, I would say, how do you feel about being in the field that, like, I know for me, it's like an open topic. I would say of seeing not that many black people in our field and wanting more black people to come in. How do you feel about
See, and that's another thing about my job too. We
that?
actually have quite a few black people.
Y'all need to hire me.
Yes. So I think is on my team we maybe have three, four black people out of maybe 10 people, 11
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's
in my
dope.
company, yeah, yeah, and they're pretty good about that, man. So I don't feel out of place. I don't feel like I'm uh the only black guy. I don't really have that feeling. I feel included.
Mhm.
And so for me, it's been a very inclusive experience. But I understand it's not like that everywhere. So for me, it
No,
has been an inclusive experience.
that's awesome. So, what would you say is one of your ultimate life goals?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
We know we got
Um,
multiple. It's hard to ask any question.
yeah, I
I
mean,
got about 20 of them. You know.
I would say my ultimate life goal is to get to a place where, and I don't see, it's funny because I don't want, it sounds like complacency. I want to get to a place where I'm knowledgeable on things and I feel that I am a great fit to move into like a bigger role.
Hmm.
So I
The
have
site is set up
this
yet.
thing,
To get
man,
started, download the
where it's
zip folder
like,
on the phone or tablet.
I don't know if I'm always good at what I'm doing. I think everybody kind of has that feeling like they don't know
No, I feel
if
that way.
they're, yeah, you sometimes you feel inadequate, man. And it's not that you are, it's just that you don't really see everything that you're doing anymore because you're right in the middle of it, but what you're doing is actually pretty good stuff. And so it's kind of a goal that I might not ever achieve, but I just want to feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, hey, I'm a senior IT at blah 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 blah, or I feel that here. So
And I'm with you with that because I feel that way too. I think I had a review the other week. Like we do this yearly review because I work for a big company, work for GM.
okay.
And in working for the company, it's like, I want to leave, I want to do this, I want to do this. And it's like, but I finally asked myself out that review, like, why do I want to go? And like, what else do I want to do? Because I know I do this podcasting. That's good. It's growing, make money from it. It's cool. It's something I love to do. Outside of the money, I can do this for free. This could be my life. Like, I could do podcasts. Cool, because you get to meet so many cool people. I
Right.
feel like it's a bigger impact than me working at some cubicle building somebody else's dream. But
Right.
outside of that, it's like when I did a review, I was just like, okay, you're gonna tell me what I did good, what I did. Like you said, I do always, no matter how much good you told me I did, I still feel like, or bad, I still feel like, dang, what does Jeremy need to be better at? Like,
Yeah.
like, what is it that I'm supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to learn? Like, how do I supposed to do it?
Yeah.
And I feel like the day that we do get to a place that we like, we ain't got to learn no more, then it's gonna be, oh yeah, I'm relaxing, but I'm still gonna. So I feel
You
like
st
life is gonna forever be. I'm gonna forever.
it is. That's why I say it's one of those goals that you never really get to, and that goal is kind of what helps you keep getting better. Because the more you don't feel like you're doing it, the more you're gonna try to do it, and you're gonna keep learning. And I mean, one day it would be nice to, I guess, have my own business. Like you said, you building somebody else's dream. Um, and the more I think about it, it's like, man, what can I do? What do I want to do? How can I, put my skills into something that is a successful business? And so, I actually have a friend, man. He does like food safety and inspecting and stuff like and he's really good at it.
Mhm.
Really good at it. So I was thinking one day, I was like, man, we could come together and we can make a consultant business for restaurants. How you start up a restaurant, I can do like the point of sale systems. You can fill these people in on what they need to do and where they need to go in order to get this business running. And he was like, hey man, that's a good idea. I was like, you know, you can,
Hey.
I just had to figure out how to use the skills, man. And so I
Right.
think that's important too, to figure out how your skills fit and how you can make it work and how you can be successful with them, man.
Definitely. You're right about that. That's how I did with the podcast. I put a lot into it, and I feel like a lot of people are like, man, you great at this, so you any. And I'm like, hey man, I just know how to network, and it even now I'm about to have my second book come out, but the first book for the podcast come out called The Art of Networking, because I have interviewed some big time people, if you would say, and people always ask me, hey man, how did you get that person on? I'm like, hey, network, man. You might meet their cousin, their friend, or you might use them. And you like, hey, that's how I'm gonna go. Or I might now we have it such at our hand now to reach out to people social media. You reach out,
Right,
they gonna hit you back more than time. You know,
right,
definitely. I think that we all have something that we can make money, not only just money off of, but do for the rest
right. We do. You just have to figure it out. That's the hard part.
of it. Yeah, it is. So before we do close, would you happen to have any questions for me?
Yeah. How did you get started? So, what's your story?
Got you. So I was in college, studying for computer science and computer engineering at Clark Atlanta University. I had left
Okay.
South Georgia, so that's how I know Daniel. So down, we grew up together, played football together in Fort Valley. Came up here to Clark, and I'm going to school, and I'm struggling, man. I'm like, computer science. I'm like, but professor at the time, she believed in me. She like, oh, you're gonna pass it. You're gonna do this. Da da da. And I had failed the test. I was like, this is gonna be my last test I ever failed in computer science because how I'm gonna do good in all these other courses, but I'm not good at computer science. So finally, after that test, man, I started going to her tutoring, started learning and stuff. And like, I'm a spiritual guy, man. I prayed, bro. I was like, God, if you get me through this, I'm gonna figure out what I can do to help other people when I graduate. So, so I finished school. Those 4 years flew by. You know, finished school, and I'm sitting at home. I got the logo done, man. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. And my one of my friends happened to be my media guy to this day, do all my editing and stuff. And we were talking in the room. He's like, man, you love talking to people. You always spark up conversation. I knew athletes. I knew people in all type of fields. So I was like, it's gonna be people in IT first. And then after a while, I was talking to my mom and my family about the show. They seen a couple episodes come out. They was like, but you know more people than just people that's in tech, so try this. And when I did it, when I tell you, man, it took off, AJ. Like that's when I was like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. Really, I've been able to help more people. It means more to me. It means more than money or accolades or I brought this person on anything like that. It's just cool to be able to pull it off. Like, dang, I'm really interviewing, bro. This lit, man. Like even
Yeah.
when Daniel told me about you, I was like, bro, that's what's up, man. That's his cousin. Then he was like, but look, I talked to him, bro. He a cool dude. He like us. That's what we like us, bro. We gotta hit him up. Gotta hit him up. Get him on the show. So just something like this made my day because I like doing it.
Right.
That's why I do it, and that's how I started, man. I was in school, just like it got to be more than just me going
Yeah.
something I got to do. So, yeah.
Right. See, I'm still waiting for that boom. I'm trying to find that too, and it's tough. But when you find it, man,
It's gonna hit you.
you know you have it.
And
You know you're doing it.
I always, it's funny. I tell people this now. I wrote about it even in the book. Like anytime I thought that I was gonna walk away, and it was like probably just take a little break, like something like that.
Yeah.
Something to happen. Somebody hit me up or something like this. Hey man, let's go some of this. And I'm like, okay, let me go sit down, figure it out, and we're gonna make it happen. Definitely. So that's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen to you too. I feel like it's there for everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I gotta get my cousin on here too. I, I gotta find out when she's free, man.
All right,
She's
man.
flying everywhere. So
Man,
she's
help me,
tough.
man. Shoot, once you
I'm
get on,
trying.
because I feel like I'm in Atlanta too, so that's what Daniel was telling me. This man Daniel was doing research. He's like, bro, she's so this son so this bro is lit, bro. I'm just sitting there like, bro, it's gonna happen when it needs to happen, man. But no, when we can pull it off, it's gonna be good because I feel like she gonna see your episode and be like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She would be a great person to talk to, man. Seriously. She's done a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first time I saw her like on TV or social media, I was like, that's my cousin. Like
Wait a minute.
I was like, that is wild, man. I'm seeing you on TV. Like, I just saw you 4th of July. You're on ESPN. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So it is. I gotta get her to show up.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. But in that, bro, let's stay connected, man. You're a part of a network now. I'm gonna send you my link and everything. I know you probably have social media, so if you
Oh yeah.
could send your social media so I can follow you and stuff. And I'm gonna post a snippet tonight, but I got a lot of content lined up, so the episode's gonna air in a few months. But I'm gonna
Okay.
stay in touch with you from then on, though, man. I love staying in touch, seeing how you doing. See you got a band. I'm gonna have to pull up see a concert, man.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I've been playing guitar, man, for probably like 12, 13 years now. I,
Oh,
I started my sophomore year of college.
uh,
Funny though, I went through a heartbreak. I like, man, what do I do? Like, and so you talk about that moment where you knew you were doing something right.
mhm,
I went through that heartbreak. I was like, man, I don't know how to express myself. What can I do? And I had this guitar sitting in the corner of my room.
uh,
So I said, I'm gonna play the blues, man. So I picked up my guitar, got
mhm,
on YouTube, started learning some blues stuff, and I never stopped. And so for me, guitar is that thing
mhm,
that helps me focus too. It's one of those, as you get older, you find these facets of your life that come together and make you. And
mhm.
that's one of those things for me. So I just never stop. I got a band, and we go through our ups and downs and stuff, but we know at the
Definitely.
end of the day, we're still friends and we still play. So It's one of those things.
Yeah, man, and that's how it is with me for podcasting. I would tell you, you get some exclusives. I wrote the book. We done a docu series, and when I tell you, my guy, that's my camera guy, he had to move to Connecticut because he works for ESPN now. And
Okay.
when I tell you he shot this episode like an ESPN docu series, man, I saw it last the other week, and I'm like, man, when the book get in my hand, we gonna drop it. Like I got a whole, and I was sitting there, and I was like, man, I'm really doing what I talked about doing. This is it. This is good. This is good. So
Oh
that's,
yeah.
it's always exciting when you're doing something that you know you're supposed to be doing.
Right. Right.
But nah, man. Well, I look forward to keep talking to you, man. Keep being great. And I'm gonna shoot you the YouTube video and just shoot me your social medias. And what I'm
Okay.
gonna do is go ahead and put out a snippet tonight.
Okay. Sounds good, man. I'll let you get you everything.
All right, then. Well, I'll be talking to you soon, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. I appreciate you.